Some of your favorite television personalities were once homeless. When we see them today, we admire them for their success. However, they haven't always been successful in living in mansions. We collected all movie stars who were homeless in one video just for you. Jim Carrey. When Jim Carrey's father lost his job in their home, the family moved into a Volkswagen camper van, parking it in different places throughout Canada. When Carrey turned 16, he decided to quit school and start supporting his family through small impressions and stand-up shows. He hopped in his Volkswagen van and traveled across Canada, picking up jobs and performing at open mics where he could. Still, he had a hard time finding success. So much so that he eventually set up shop on his sister's lawn, continuing to live out of his van. Carrey would go on to make serious money making people laugh in films like The Mask and Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. He's worth an estimated $150 million. Halle Berry. Halle admitted that it was a rough and difficult period of her life, but she learned how to take care of herself and take destiny into her hands. From The Shelter and bartending to being X-Men Storm, what a stormy but incredible journey. In her early 20s, Halle moved to Chicago in pursuit of her acting career. She soon ran out of money, and her mother refused to help her out. Without money or a roof over her head, she found herself in a shelter for the homeless. She definitely figured it out. Today, the Monsters Ball Oscar winner is estimated to have a net worth of $80 million. Jennifer Lopez. When Jennifer was only 18, she quarreled with her mother and had to sleep on a sofa in a dance studio. The fight was over Jennifer's desire to pursue a dance career. Just a few months later, she got a dancing job in Europe. When she returned, she moved to LA as she won a national competition for a dancing spot on the popular TV series In Living Color as one of the Fly Girls. All this happened in a year, another example of what happens when you choose to pursue your dream despite any odds. Now she's a pop music superstar known for her smooth dance moves, but life wasn't always so shimmery for Jennifer Lopez. In the end, her sacrifice and hard work paid off. Today, Lopez is worth $400 million. Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey is not just a famous host who wrongly announced the winner of Miss Universe 2016. He is loved by millions for various daytime TV game shows, but the start of his fame wasn't that smooth. He started out as a comedian in the late 80s. A couple of gigs fell through, and splitting from his wife and sending paychecks to his 2 children forced Steve to move into his Ford Tempo. Steve Harvey has a lot to smile about today, but that wasn't always the case. As he describes it, I had nowhere to go. A week is really the maximum one can do. This was 3 years. It was rock bottom. But even in my darkest days, I had faith it would turn around. And he did. Today, Harvey's net worth is put at $160 million. Daniel Craig. This strong and elegant James Bond was not always rich and famous. He was once an ordinary waiter, sleeping on a park bench on occasion. Being a struggling actor has nothing to do with romance, just hard work, dedication, and strong belief. And that's what helped Daniel to make both ends meet and finally reach his dream. Chris Pratt. The most famous Guardian of the Galaxy wasn't always the center of the acting universe. He left school at the age of 17 and got a job selling coupons. 2 years later, he accepted a friend's offer, a one-way ticket to Hawaii. It turned out to be a great place to start a homeless life, sleeping in a van or in a tent on the beach. He credits his fame to his time living in a van with a friend in Maui. The two spent their days surfing and picking up odd jobs to pay for their drinking and fishing habits. There was weed, drink, and minimal working hours to cover gas, food, and fishing supplies. Recently, he posted an old picture of the vehicle on Facebook, saying, "That's the van I lived in. In my hand is the script for the movie that got me out of Maui. Crazy." Now, Pratt is everyone's favorite blockbuster action star, and he's said to have a net worth of $40 million. Sylvester Stallone. Stallone's story is a prime example of why you should never compromise or give up on your dreams, no matter how many times you hear no. In fact, Stallone's story mirrors that of Rocky Balboa himself. Stallone was sleeping on bus station benches, but he knew that if he could hold out to star in the boxing film he wrote, it would be the break that would launch him as a film star. Before starring in the boxing hit, Stallone wound up on the streets while selling his script for Rocky. Though he received offers from time to time, he turned each down, as the studios wouldn't allow him to star in the film. Sylvester Stallone was so determined to play the role of Rocky that he was willing to put up with homelessness for a time. Today, he's one of the most recognized action stars on the planet, with a net worth of $400 million. Tiffany Haddish. Tiffany Haddish is a 38-year-old comedian and actress who used to live out of her car in Beverly Hills while she was trying to make it in Hollywood. She was rather an unknown before her breakthrough role in Girls Trip in 2017. When comedian Kevin Hart found out that Haddish was living out of her car, he gave her $300 so she could get a hotel room for a week. That was all the cash he had on hand at the time. He also gave her some advice on how to get out of her situation. Steve Jobs. Most people would never associate Steve Jobs with homelessness. He had a dormitory room until he dropped out of Reed College. When he became homeless, he slept on the floor of his friend's dorm room. He collected soda bottles to earn money for food, and at other times, he ate some meals at a temple. When he died in 2011 at age 53, he was one of the richest men in the United States. That's because he was the co-founder and CEO of Apple. Dr. Phil McGraw. Philip Calvin McGraw, known to viewers as Dr. Phil, was homeless as a child. Who would have thought that he was ever homeless? The 67-year-old popular talk show host came from a poor background. Records indicate that he spent part of his childhood living with his father in their car, and sometimes staying at the YMCA whenever they could find space there. Today, the television personality, author, psychologist, and host of the 16-year-old Dr. Phil Show has earnings over $70 million and ranked among the 15 highest earning celebrities in the world. Dr. Phil doesn't have to sleep in a car or stay at a YMCA these days. There are many more celebrities who struggled and were homeless before they launched their careers. Some of them don't mind talking about it because it motivated them to get to where they are today. Others don't feel comfortable mentioning their homelessness because it's a reminder of bad times. Be sure to check back to our channel for new intel every week. And hey, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to our channel.